games.
Yeah, that's right. Attach the wide angle lens.
지금 괜찮아요. 물려기는 이번에 괜찮아.
The shift in the standings.
We could sit here and talk all day about what we saw in the group stage and survival stage, but the difference is, Blank, it's what you do now in the present moment. It's time to go mobile. Sandhawk to start things off. Ruins closest to the plane path. We'll see what happens over in Ruins, because it has been a contentious area of the map for Sandhawk for quite some time so far. Seems to have to drop in very much a northwestern plane path too, so Thunderdogs over towards Camp Alpha. No team would like to pick up that position. Alter Ego drops similarly in position, but looks like this time around they're heading out to the east.
Can't wait to see what the form's going to be looking like as well from some teams that didn't have to play the survival stage. Given that you mentioned two huge names there, right? Four Thrives, they looked amazing. Great teamwork, setting themselves up for chicken dinners, topping the charts when it came to the points. That's a lot of similar storylines that you could paint over to Alter Ego. Rosebrick, it's not just him, is it?
Al-Haji with the long range. Shots here from the DBS, not quite connecting. Noki's got to run off the position as the Molotov comes through. Backs them off the alley here, forces them into this building. It's good. Shepherding coming through.
bóng này भर्खर आज कता गइगयो भने ल
The second as well. Wow, that could have been real bad for Power.
Chills there, damn. Yeah, that could have been very, very bad. Great setup though on the doorway, right, one either side. As soon as Al-Haji went down, they completely changed up the game plan. They sent in the hammer first, and it was not enough, so they had to go for something a little bit more strategic. But that was good. From Fanlac, at least that puts a little bit of fear in Power. Now that Fourth Rise understand this is likely going to happen every game, they can be prepared for this next one. But Sandhawk is a great map for putting up big points early on and getting that initial lead, especially at the start of any grand finals.
Oh yeah, dream scenario for Power as well. You know, it looked like it wasn't really the true test of themselves in the group stage, but what we saw unleashed for our survival stage, that's where they thrive. It's what we saw last year as well. It feels like they sort of dial it up a little bit. You know, they assess the lobby and realise, look guys, we should play to our strengths. So much of that carries on over here. It's a nice hot drop, good result in the the end, only losing one player in Ragnar. Could have gone bad, but you avoid that outcome, so they're going to be happy. For 4 Frieds, that's an instant red mark, though. It's one of those games where you're thinking, okay, got to sit here, watch the flow of the action. Half an hour later, we'll be back. And you imagine they'll probably have something to say against Power throughout the course of playoffs now.
Yeah, it's a big blemish. Definitely a big blemish coming through for the guys on 4 Thrives, but we know that they can bounce back. They had a little bit of a slip over towards their final matches. They still put up a huge scoreline, right? And I think if it wasn't for Alter Ego just blasting out of control, they would have remained in first place. So saying they had a slip is maybe a bit too bold from my camp, honestly. Fireflux, though, this is a team that did not slip up at all. They just kept on climbing. They were rung after rung on the ladder over in survival stage. That's why they looked fabulous. And it wasn't a case, in my opinion, that they looked great because it was weaker teams. I think for Fireflux, they had a real improvement over those 2 days.
Oh yeah, you think about the positioning, the way they were playing off one another. Similarly to obviously what we were describing there and highlighting is a good setup from Power, right? Those close quarters crossfires, the way they're playing off one another. That's what Fireflux were doing very consistently, but the rotations were on point. It did feel like they were hitting a skill ceiling of there's a lot this team can give, and we were just seeing it.
It was super cool to me because I think in a lot of Fireflux's games in the past, it's usually either a case of you highlight Scarface or you highlight Ketch. It's never both players at the same time. I think here at PMWC, it is a wonderful experience to be able to watch Fireflux and see that both Ketch and Scarface are both on their A game at the same time. It's a rare scenario, but they're bringing out where it counts here on the main stage. Weibo rotate through here. This is over towards the eastern side around Yangon Galacticos. Already some heavy hits been sent their way.
And if you're unfamiliar, of course, as well, opportunities for some, let's say, interesting gameplay from them when it comes to the weapon choices. But we'll see if they decide to pull that out in what is going to be a very important set of games here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see for Sook, the bow, explosive bow.
Oh, yeah.
It looked cool, right? I think that we didn't necessarily see the true power of it because a lot of it was zoning and spacing for the team, as opposed to finding the knocks. Where he did find the flushes with it, it was a wonderful moment. You know, we got to really get hype about that. But here in these matches, you wonder if he'll favour the DBS, which is much more meta here in PUBG Mobile. Over towards the northwest side, though, a very hard shift. We pull this one close to the northwest island, but not all the way over towards those confluence compounds. Alter Ego's in position to snatch that one up, and Eda's weakened earlier after Rosemary was able to have a little hello down towards that south side. They sent one player in, but can they withstand the weight of Alter Ego as they move in from the east?
A lot of trust in that team. Feels like it doesn't matter if one player is popping off, they're able to sort of pass the baton quite quickly. A lot of respect for one another as well. And obviously that can go the extra distance, but seeing Rosemary already be able to get the blood pumping a little bit, it bodes well for this roster. They've been very exciting to watch. Ooh, Fireflux making a knock there as well. That's over from Aura.
Eda finding Moana, though, which is a really, really good start for them. It depends whether Moana actually goes down or not, because they need to reset on this one, but it is Weibo bringing up the rear here as Yangon Galacticos opted for a wild rotate over towards that northwest side, trying to gamble on this one, understanding that it's going to be extremely packed down towards the south. They'd rather not play with that, gamble on a northwest shift. Power finding Silas, that is Al-Haji coming into contest as Regnum Karya made a big rotate over towards the northwest side as well on that bridge, and Power was comfortable just to wait that one out. And Regnum Karya starting to get dismantled as Power puts more points on the tables.
Easy got visual contact though, up towards the top of the hill there. The third party arriving, Yangon Galacticos, to catch whiff of this and want to see if they can steal away any points from the head-to-head from Power and Regnum Karya. They immediately try and reposition, play off the cover they've got provided. Easy's looking for the confirmation as well. Behind the tree, just tucked in for now. Aura from the sidelines, seems like Joker's showing up once again for E-Arena.
This is a horrible push for a lot of teams on the southeast side. Your E-Arena, Fireflux, Horror, APG, and Team Seeker are all banding around Pi9 at the moment. And there's only so long until that starts to pop off and the tension snaps in that region of the map. Already we're losing more and more players, and that's Horror out, getting sandwiched between 3 teams. They desperately tried to fend off against Fireflux, and if they're able to do that, they could have maybe moved out west, but they were penned in.
A Horror story with Easy walking away with another pickup on that one. 6 elims already for Power. These are the sort of games they thrive on as well. It feels like this team very easily goes, once they get momentum, you know, they feed that hot hand, keep it building. It's nice to see for the Power fans out there.
It's funny coming out survival stage, right? It's where they shine a lot of times. And it wouldn't really be a PMWC without Power making it through survival stage, so I'm glad they do make that happen. King finding a shot over towards Rita. Is that from Weibo? Oh, Thunder Talks here on the western side, yeah. They do have good control. This is coming down from Camp Alpha earlier on. Ida, like we said before, did drop a player earlier on to Alter Ego, who have moved across to C here on the map. We'll check out where this next circle goes. Yangon Galacticos hopes it goes to the northwest side. It's not meant to be though, as we start to come back down onto the South Island. Some fantastic compounds to play around here. Pretty difficult to get out from where Falcons is playing as you wrap around. They can be quick though. They might able to get some of these compounds down towards the south side, potentially play some of the ridges, but you can see DRX has clear sight lines over to them.
And this is a similar early path as well from Falcons. Obviously, the Sanhok games we saw in survival stage from then, they were opting to play far slower, avoid altercations early if they could, and that was working for them for placements. Again, here though, you're going to have a lot of teams with targets on you. DRX losing a man very early into this one with their rotation, I believe, against Fireflux. Going to be in position to see if they can snatch away any points, dealing some damage, chipping down the Falcons. Would be a nice way to get started for them. See the roam up from Power again as well. Always on our screens at the minute. Thunder Talks here playing inside the compound. You get one clean knock from King, coming alive already.
Vahiden dropped. Thunder Talks do have nades to play around with, so can send them this way. And there's only so many places you can play around this coastal area. DRX is finding a huge amount of success from that high ground they're playing towards the center of the circle at the moment. It's so hard to pass by them, especially for Nongshim Red Force, who are currently trapped over towards Ruins. Hoping, praying that it moves over towards Ruins side on those central circles. King will pick up Vahiden. Al-Haji is down, and Power's run looks to start to come crashing down. Easy. Just try and de-escalate the scenario inside that shack.
Steal over the other side of the coast as well, actually. So Yangon Galacticos being able to rip that 1 point away. But that just sets the alarm bells for Regnum Karia, Loxy and Toshpik. From up top of the hillside, they get vision, take some bullets down range, and claim one back of their own.
It's a horrible approach for Regnum Karia. They have to send it. Romeo should have heard that. Loxy's going to send forward, so at least they have a player in the back line there. Nope, never mind, both get in. And Romeo yet to take shots. Plenty of bullets to make it happen as well. That Regnum Karia is almost inviting those shots their way with the way they're lazily rotating over that hillside.
Regnum Karia on the drive-by. It's a very messy landing, trying to get over the bridge, and this is Alter Ego that, of course, will bite the hand that feeds immediately. Krypton goes in to close the gap, just Toshpik really low on health, easy maneuvers, and you shut them both down. So goodbye, Regnum Karia.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing flop on the vehicle.
Yeah.
Getting that across the shallows as well, usually it's fairly simple to do. I think they want to stop off over towards the bridge, but I think in that scenario, most teams have got these areas locked down. It's not the easiest game to play out, but we head up towards that northeast side. Suddenly things get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more interesting. Ruins being a big feature in this one, but Thunder Talks having this compound on the north side of it can cut out a lot of teams that want to come through on that western edge. DRX is going to struggle as they wrap around that high ground over towards Ida, who will have those nice sight lines. I'm more surprised by the fact that Scarface as well as Ketch have been able to live this long on Fireflux just on 2 players. I think that's fantastic work from them.
Falcons have been biding their time. Saw an opportunity here to attempt to engage from underneath the bridge with the nades, cast that one out, not directly on target. Romeo as well being nipped out by the zone, so he goes down. So effectively just a duo. You can see he's back towards the bridge side, not really in a great position whatsoever. And for the Falcons, vehicles to play with, good split, all 4 players alive. Smile priming the nade, resetting that one until he sees an opportunity to actually get some chip damage off with it if they go for the crash down towards the bridge. DRX as well, finally getting revenge on Fireflux.
Scarface going down there is a bit rough. Ketch should be running into Reefus from APG soon. The rest of the team's a little bit further over towards the northeast, trying to hold out versus Team Secret, as well as the split Weibo Gaming. Falcons just rock over towards Noxian Red Force, and Narvalo's Elites able to find one of them, but it was a quick descent into disaster here for the Falcons.
And this could go even worse quite quickly. They're attempting to pick up the pieces. Doc C goes down with Narvalo responding, but look how low he is. DPS in the hands of Vinny as well. Baiting out on the angle. A single shot is all that's required. Just trying to peek into it. Seeing if he can swing round. Dips behind the vehicle to stay alive. Alpha as well, shutting down Team Secret in the meantime.
It's good from Alpha Gaming. They've been waiting for that push for a long, long time there. Finally make it work. Now they can start thinking about their next moves. Narvalo heads in, and what a performance so far from Narvalo. The rest of the team did not find the same kind of look, but again, it's like one of those signs where you had hoped the Falcons would make a more aggressive push over towards the bridge and over towards Thundertalks. Yes, there's an opportunity to push through here, but it's likely the Noxian Red Force is holding these angles. Even so, it's not the full squad from Noxian Red Force which is able to tear you apart. It's a little bit of a limp approach from the Falcons. Next circle pops over towards Weibo. A big old split coming through from Alter Ego, who have all 4 players alive. Now, boys placed them in Dark Horse territory, but I think me and you are kind of clear in favor of Alter Ego, enjoying their rotates. Max brought up a good point to me earlier, saying perhaps their playstyle's unsustainable. My only counter to that is that I still think they would have done great even on the games where maybe they didn't deserve to get all the points in the world because it was off the back of team mistakes, but I still think that it would have got great placements, great points in those games regardless, just because of the way they played them.
I think it's been very heads-up PUBG Mobile from them. Super cerebral gameplay. A lot more positives than really negatives to highlight whatsoever. Krypton here as well, even being able to snatch away the last man there. So Narvalo goes down 4 Falcons. We do still have 2 solos, actually the 3 solos alive. Easy's still inside the little shed, bunkered down early. Kind of a secret agent in the backline of Alter Ego. Sakura as well here for E-Arena, spotting out onto Reefus on the drive up. Couldn't get himself behind any hard cover, so he falls.
Yeah, it's a really hard push. APG, they couldn't send all their players down either. Reefus was sent in as almost a sacrificial lamb to try and get an opening knock, but they couldn't afford to have all their team down there just in case they had to pivot. They also don't know that Eda's a weakened squad, in which case maybe they could have put pressure there. There is so many sidelines as you're passing through, though. It is unlikely that Alpha gets too much further into this game.
Easy's been able to get the backstab onto Rosemary. This is what he was waiting for so long. You kind of forgot he was there, and you paid the comeuppance because of it. Even more damage from Easy, actually. That's onto Thundertalks. For a solo dolo for power, still being able to steal away some additional points is actually huge.
I mean, finally he gets taken down, but what a run from them. 9 Elins on the match. That's a good result. That's a great result. I don't know if they just got into placement point range there, but even so, it would have just been the 1 point anyway. But that does drop Alter Ego from a 4-man down to a 3, and you're losing your main man, Mr. Rosemary. Not always easy. And then again, Alva as well as Krypton have been having a big step up. It is not just the Rosemary show anymore. There's plenty more to this team.
Might actually be a good storyline for us in the booth and the viewers at home as well, because that's something we've been trying to hammer home, right? How important Alva's been for this squad. And I think this is the sort of game where this trio can prove, just like Rosemary said, it's not just me, it's the entire squad. We play off each other very well, yes, but if things go wrong, we can still pivot. Crazy maneuvers from Easy there, just before he's taken out. Harassing both Alter Ego and Thundertalks. The push up onto Weibo. Finish that off. So E-Arena snatching away the odd point here and there. 4 players alive for that squad as well, Blank. Could be a big talking point later.
E-Arena had been eye-opening squad in terms of we saw them earlier. We're like, wow, this not a team we've got our eyes glued to. But the more they've played, the more they've had these moments of success here and there. It's a hard team to pinpoint of whether they're a team that could challenge out for the first place spot, or they're a team that's towards middle of the pack, because some plays are great, other plays not so much. It's hard to, I would say, pinpoint exactly how I feel about E-Arena. But there has been these good games, there has been some strong sweeps, and they're not a team that I think you could completely dismiss.
I think that's really fair. For me, the litmus test has been how Joker's playing as well. Feels like if he's on form, the rest of the squad really gets riled up. Origo still looking menacing. Bit of a chip back over, Skura down. 3 players alive, and Krypton. It's a rough position here on the hillside.
It's a smart one though. You play in front of the rock because you're assuming they're going to be sending those nades over the top of it anyway, because they think you're hiding behind there. If they peeked up, they would have found a clear and easy shot over towards Krypton, but he takes that risk and it pays off here. Now they get the northeast shift on the circle. They know they need to start cleaning out E-Arena soon.
Oh, Mormon. The start step round from the side is good for 1. Get the first knock onto Alva, but Krypton and Moana playing off one another. Instantaneous response. Look at the spray down. Joker trapped in position, pinned by the barrage of bullets. You can still get the save onto your mate as well.
Yeah, this is a great time to reset, recalculate here for Alter Ego. They know they've got a prime position inside the circle to play off with the 3 players. Awesome nade from Aaron over the top there. We'll take down Sakura. Perfect airburst on that one as well. Despite everything, it is Ida as well as Alter Ego getting through to the late game. Good shots from Krypton, keeps going forward. Like we said, it doesn't matter. No Rosemary doesn't mean that Alter Ego's down and out.
But I'm loving the fact that he kept the pressure on as well. Whilst the team was trying to reset themselves from the pickup and the heal, he was harassing. So you're still a little bit more paranoid. You can't take the fight to them. Ida have to stay tucked in for now. Rita's incredibly low as well.
For Ida, their big opportunity here is the shack right in front of the hard cover in the rock. They can get over towards it. It's big news, and Krypton had to hit that shot over towards Darkin. Now Eren moves up into position, and they find a decent nade over the back. Quite a little bit short here. They have a very strong position now, and that reset you were talking about does hamper them. Yes, Krypton was in position. The rest of Alter Ego weren't quite there to take shots as Ida crossed, and that was the prime time to do it.
Trying to force out the last man. Who find Doc? Okay, you remove him. Focus up on what's ahead of you then.
This is a good wrap now as well. It means they can play off the back of this hard cover. Again, approaching this position over towards Ida is not going to be easy, especially with the fact that resources, utility, extremely low on the side of Alter Ego. But what a banger of a first game. 10 eliminations, as well as a chance at a chicken dinner here.
It would be massive for them. Keep that energy going from the group stage. Show us that it wasn't a fluke. Chip damage there is going to be monumental as well.
Oh, I got no beds at all. Moana goes down. There is one shot out. Eren very low, and Krypton has to step back into cover.
Rita playing on the back foot. Being pushed upon now. The last man. Timing is absolutely everything on this. And Alba, we said to highlight him. He's got the DPS in hand, wants to close the gap, looking to harass. And that's how Alter Ego do it. Straight back, showing us that they've got the talent, they've got the communication, and they've also got themselves the opening chicken dinner.
It's a great game from Alter Ego, and a promising one at that as well. We have it at home there saying that just because Rosemary down does not mean that this squad is not as fearsome as they come. That was an incredible match. Yes, they missed the rotate over towards Ida as they were coming across the road, but it was smartly played. And 3v4 versus E-Arena as well there, where it counted. Really good plays from Alter Ego all around. But there were other things happening around the map. Easy getting himself into a late game position there, getting 9 elims off the back of that one is a big result for them. And 4 Thrives going down extremely early. It's a bit shaky.
Oh yeah, the power head-to-head on the hot drop. Scary stuff, and already you can see the intensity. Join us for more PUBG Mobile action in a couple minutes' time.
Beda lah ni dia.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load at Cybertron. All for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
Gua ada prediksi sebelum semuanya terjadi. Tekanan. Apa itu? Final, saatnya kita bersinar. Lu nggak bisa ngalahin apa yang lu nggak bisa prediksi. Dan bakal ingat tim kita.
Number one in the groups and now number one to start off the grand finals for PMWC. Alter Ego is operating on another level. Who is going to be able to stop them? It's only one game down in the final, but that's a terrifying statement to make from the word go here, Seven.
It is, and I mean, continuing on the performance that we saw out of them in group stages, being able to control a lot of the circle. Once they felt comfortable, they started doing a 1-1-1-1 split, and that ultimately given the lead when it came down to Regnum Karya trying to push in. They had every angle, and it was an easy fight for this squad.
I mean, when you look at Sanhok in particular, Trifecta is just such a key transition point. They controlled it from like the early stages of the game until the very end, and it started with a hot drop against Thundertalk. They fixed it, they go boot camp, and because of that, they have an easy chance to go for the win. 23 points right out of the gate. SEA here to win it all.
Impressive high ground control, impressive fight against the arena as well to be able to salvage everything after that and then get the 23 points. It's brilliant stuff from them. Following things up as well, Alpha Gaming with 12 points, being able to position themselves after a lot of eliminations. Max getting themselves in a decent spot to start off the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, big fight happening in Painan versus, I believe it was Team Secret, able to get the squad wipe onto that one. And actually, we were critical about Doc. He kind of saved this game for his team. They got right into the top 3, eliminated most of DRX as they were trying to exit out of Ruins. Are we going to see them be at the bottom of the rankings and Doc MVP like in PMGO? I hope not, but it's so far it is going that way.
If it's this kind of performance, I mean, I don't hate it from APG. As you mentioned, it came down to Doc being able to clutch up a top 3 situation for this squad. If they continue like that, then one thing that I do have to kind of nitpick a little bit, even though it is Sandhawk, is them losing top early. If they would have had a little bit more of those players left alive there towards the end, it would have been a lot better.
Do you know, there's so many favorite moments from this game. You know what my why are you already saying?
Don't.
Do you know what one of my favorite moments
Don't
was
let him
from this
talk.
game? Stop him! It was both of your guys' picks going out straight away in the game. Max, what do you have to say about yourself?
So, Horror were alive.
So, yeah?
I blinked.
Yeah?
They weren't alive anymore.
That's weird.
That's all I have to say.
How about yourself, Seven, with 4 thrives?
It happens when a team decides to hot drop in the grand finals on day 1 on the first match. 4 thrives. Come on, what are we doing? To be fair though, they said that after this they don't really have to worry about anything else. But I don't care. 4 thrives. Please stop hot dropping, even if we're only going to be playing Sandhawk twice.
And who was my pick coming into the grand finals? What's wrong, Max? Alter ego?
I'm annoyed.
Was it actually your pick? Yeah, of course.
It was his pick. Barney too.
They look crazy good in the group stage, and now they're controlling crazy amounts of Anyway, that's by the by. Let's take a look at the highlights from this game as well.
One thing I really liked, actually, we're talking about it a little bit, Seth, during this game, is the rhythm at which Ultrigo play. Not talking about the control on Trifecta, which we already highlighted was phenomenal, is the way they take engagements that make sense. They take a big fight, they maybe take a few knocks, full reset, bring everyone back up, get information, transition to a better position. It's just very by the book, and yet so efficient, so well executed, so snappy. The Ultrigo, I was a little bit scared that what they did in group stage, it would be hard to replicate here in the finals, but they proved us wrong right away in the first game.
The main one comes down to that scouting. I'm really enjoying the scouting that they do, and as you mentioned, just the pacing of their playing style, making sure that they do end up clearing everything. Rosemary, though, to be fair, Rosemary ended up getting caught off guard there by Power, and talking about Power, what an impressive match out of this team, too, winning that hot drop.
Yeah, very important, all things considered. It might make 4 thrives now think twice about that. They've still got 2 more Sandhawks to play here, Max, so maybe not coming back in those next 2 Sandhawks.
Look, you maybe don't want to ruin your Sandhawks when Ultrigo already created a big lead.
That's
you know, because it's not about you need to be top 8 to be in a good position. You need to win it all, and you're not going to do so by hot dropping on one match.
Yeah, the thing is if one member of Power isn't there, I think Alter Ego wins this even harder. They've got Rosemary and Moana just waiting for that Thunder Talk to kind of rotate around on the left. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be the desk host. Go on, talk, Seven.
Good. I mean, what was it? It was like 13 eliminations. I'm with you. If they would have kept Rosemary, they would have been so much more aggressive, because what we have seen this team do, which is just gain all of that control. They would have been willing to take those fights, and even at the end, when we saw them having to just slow down and get a reset, it would have been a lot faster.
Yeah, I kind of want to steal a point that you were talking about earlier, Kalaris, during the game. It's actually, they're very good at knowing the weaknesses of their position. Thunder Talk up northwest, they were trying to wrap around. They instantly understood, okay, this is our weak point. We are going to get wrapped around. They set up a little bit of a defense. Power, as we said, that one solo player that's kind of ruined it for them. They do lose Rosemary.
Yeah.
But Thunder Talk, if they don't take care of that main threat at that point, chances are they don't win that match. So they're very, very good at just understanding what is going to be their issue in matches when it comes to taking wins.
That said, I do have a lot of hope for our Korean overlords, as I normally do in these tournaments, boys. And take a look at the Nongshim Red Force going up against DRX as well. 2 teams that could do a lot here. But DRX in the distance, dodging bullets left, right, and center, then being able to shut down Nongshim Red Force. There's cool moments all over the place from this game, Seven.
There was. I mean, you have Narvalo being able to clutch out for Team Falcons, too. That was a pleasant surprise. Remember, last time I was talking about him, it was just getting eliminated too early on for his team. So it's good to see it now, being able to see the evolution of Narvalo.
Yeah.
But I got to call out 3 teams, actually. 2 teams. It has to be Nongshim Red Force and Fireflux. Nongshim Red Force, I'm going to give you a bit of a slight one, because you did have a lot of the area. You had a circle that was kind of blessing you. But these 2 teams just play a little bit too passive for what the lobby's currently showing us.
Let's check in with our teams coming into Erangel. Erangel is an unbelievably important battleground here.
Four Thrives alongside Ultrigo have been able to truly thrive on this battleground, Max, but who's going to be able to do it?
I mean, if you're able to get these point averages we've seen in the survival and the league stage, right, coming in from 4 Thrives, Ultrigo, if you're getting around like 6 elims, 7 elims average on every Erangel, that again, you're playing this battleground 3 times per day, you're going to start creating an even bigger lead. And the fact that Ultrigo start with a win, and they are our Erangel top fragger, bro, they're scary right out of the gate here.
Yeah, definitely. With 50% of the maps being, of course, Erangel here, you need to be performing on the grassy pastures.
Well, I mean, for 4 Thrives, as I was saying, okay, you know what? Let's get out of the way with Sandhog. You got that hot drop. Hopefully, you'll be able to learn for tomorrow. But now, going into Erangel, all their wins came in Erangel. Whenever we were in group stages, they ended up with, what was it, top 3, 4 times out of 6 matches that we played this. So they need to make sure they take full advantage of Erangel.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll be able to make it happen. Again, as you said, Kalaris, 50% of your matches are on this battleground, on the grassy pastures. You want to try and have some good time over there, and if any teams can be making it, all the top fraggers we just saw on that graphic could be the ones to make it happen.
Definitely. I expect we'll see a bounce back from 4 Thrives. They're not going to go lying down. But of course, over in-game right now, you guys can get your hands on the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, and it's now live. Don't miss the final 3 days this weekend. Log in to summon your airdrop surprise and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers from your chance to win official merch, smartphones, BD Partner Rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win rewards. Come and join the Airdrop Carnival and unbox your surprise. Any surprises you may think of here, Seven, coming into Erangel?
That I can think of right away? No, none. I just want to see some of those teams that I ended up calling out being a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Especially even if they do end up in position where they maybe are blessed by the circle, I want to see them being a little bit more proactive, try to get those points, try to get those eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, one team I'm going to be looking at, especially this game, is going to be Regnum Karya. They drop in Rozok. There's no contention. There's no hot drop happening over there. They did have a really rough circle this time around on Sanhok, but Erangel is by far their best battleground. If there's any time Regnum Karya need to step up, it's right here, right now.
And for the Regnum Karya, it's going to have to come down to just being able to rotate a little bit faster. We were talking about it during that last match, Max. We're saying they're rotating way too slow. It's going to end up hurting them. Guess what? Alter Ego was already set up. And when you have teams playing like how Alter Ego is, being able to control such a big area, if you're going to end up rotating late and not being able to scout, you're just pretty much going to get eliminated.
Of course, you guys over at home as well can not only be watching the stream that's going on here, but make sure to have the map feed open too live, because obviously that is going to give you huge information regarding how these teams are going to be rotating, how they're moving. And speaking of that, I paid very close attention whilst I was kind of analysing the games from day to day, how Yangon was going to be rotating on things, because of course, coming from Military Island is not the easiest of things you have to do in this game, Maxman. And sometimes it was by hovercraft, sometimes it's by cars across roads and things like that. So for them, there is always that potential challenge that you've got to deal with when coming from military.
I mean, especially because, let's keep in mind, unlike in the survival stage, 4 Thrives are here. Western Bridge, occupied. Alpha Gaming, back in the lobby, dropping in the military. Novo, also going to be possibly occupied. I think there was even a potential hot drop happening over there. So Yangon Galacticos, this is going to be turned up to 11 into hard mode. And we know that this is a team that surprised us. Can they surprise us when they are going to have a real tough time simply surviving on Military Island?
If there was a team that I would expect them to be able to get out of Military Island, will be Yangon Galacticos. But
I agree.
They've been able to show it over and over again. They've been able to adjust. Yeah, even now that 4 Thrives is here, and they're more than likely going to just be controlling that Western Bridge. We have seen Yangon Galacticos realize that and be willing to just take some damage from the blue zone, go all the way around into the Eastern Bridge. And even if they end up rotating late, it works out for them.
It does work out, but I'm just scared. Not many of 4 Thrives, because we've seen that normally their hold on Western Bridge is quite passive. They allow teams to move in if it doesn't give them a big advantage in the circle early on. My main issue is going to be when APG and 4 Thrive, APG and Yangon Galacticos try to rotate at the same time, and you're going to have this big bottleneck situation. That is really what causes teams to lose a lot of players in the early game.
All I'm hearing here is a third-party opportunity for Yangon Galacticos.
And that's kind of scary. This is really good. Anyway, let's by the by. It's time. The Grassy Pastures, Erangel, game number 2 of the day here for the grand finals.
Impeccable timing from the audience there, and overall, Blank, you can see it's starting to fill out right. You've got fans, you've got family, you've got support staff, everyone in the arena ready for the anticipation that's going to continue to build as we make our way through these playoff games. And I'll tell you what, Blank, I'm going to throw it into the mix right now. Alter Ego take back-to-back chicken dinners.
You think so?
100%.
Straight on to Erangel with another Alter Ego win, huh? I mean, to be fair, yep, the whole support staff are here, the fans are out in force. Al-Haji's father is here cheering him on as well. A little bit of extra pressure, you know?
Oh yeah, the legend himself in the crowd.
My dad was there, I'd be worried. I'd do a better cast. But yeah, we're heading over towards Erangel for the first time here over at playoffs. Starting over towards Quarry, heading up over towards Stauber. Very neat little playing path here for most teams, right? We'll be able to get out slightly early over towards Primos, very Pier, as well as Sosnovka, which gives you a little bit more time to figure out what your movement's going to be from Sosnovka, which is nice, especially if you drop down there. But in the meantime, the team's heading over towards Yasnaya, Mansion, Lipovka, Prism. So a little bit of a longer rotate that you're going to have to make. Time you have to spend inside the plane. I think for most teams, they'll be very, very happy with this kind of playing path.
You can see how the standings are looking as well, of course, off the back of that opening game of the playoffs here. For Power, it was a very impressive hot drop, targeted one of the teams that everyone's had their eyes on, and that was 4-5s, who absolutely dominated back in the group stage. Is there going to be a bit of back for blood gameplay on that one? That's what I'm curious about. Are they going to have this revenge moment? You don't want to have 2 games with slow starts. That's a squad that needs to build.
APG currently parachuting over the top of 4-Thrives. 4-Thrives already hit the ground running. We'll see if APG extends this parachute down towards Sosnovka. I think they have to at this point, especially now that 4-Thrives is already starting to get set up. We send over towards the eastern side of the map. Falcons in their beloved Pachinki, as well as Rozhok being held by Regnum Kaya, as Maxman was talking about earlier on. There was a lot of indecision coming through from Regnum Kaya when it comes to Rozhok. Teams often finding a better position in Rozhok when the circle heads that way. Not sure whether to hold inside or send out. I think that they got hit with a little bit of an unlucky stick a few times on that one. There certainly can be improvements. Wait and see. Keep your eyes on the wheel, the windscreen, please. Instead of just on the map, so if you're driving, get directions from your teammates, possibly.
Yeah, don't dent the Dacia. Keep it clean. Framework on that. It's a nice cool blue. Matches the logo.
Actually works out very well. Everyone in this one all rotating together here for Thunder Talks, sending down towards Milta, which is free right now, so Thunder Talks can play that one out. Alter Ego sending far over towards Lipovka right now, which is very much out of the way, but on this kind of circle, it's completely fair. You don't want to send your entire team over towards Lipovka, though. You would like some scouts on the outside. Right now, it looks like the entirety of the team is just going over towards Lipovka, though. I think they expect that they're going to have time, especially on the plane path being so long over towards the eastern side of the map.
Curious as well. Position 10, Falcons tied points with Weibo, and both Fire Flux as well. How they're going to be looking. Obviously, we saw in their Sandhawk Games Try survival stage, it was far slower pace. It worked for them there. It's going to be a bit different here. Teams that are going to look to try and take the fight to you. You're not going to get as many freebies. When they crashed into Nongshing Red Force, that's where it all went wrong. Hopefully they can avoid a similar outcome here. Forward scout on Ralph, Farther up ahead, Regnum Karia, Fireflux and Power that are relatively close by.
Power's getting a move on. Regnum Kaya also making that move, as you were saying, all in vehicles. They left Rozhok early. They want to pride themselves here, and I think that's fair enough, especially in the third circle. They don't want to spend too much time in Rozhok. They'd rather get a central position and then know that there is a chance to send back over towards Rozhok later on. So we're not doing any shenanigans where we leave 2 players behind, we send 2 players up front. They're going to play together. If it means they have to kind of work their way back into Rozhok, dig a tunnel back towards that region of the map, then sure, fair enough. But in the meantime, Regnum Kai is just going to try and take a central position, which they know they have priority on right now from the spot that they started in. Like you said, Power in a similar spot. Gondola here for Eren. As he will make the journey back down the mountain. This is over towards Stauber.
But this is intense. Eren, inside of the gondola. The ground shaking.
It's not intense, it's It's in the goth.
Not as good as the horse, you know. I think kind of, you know, different territory.
Yeah, it's a completely alternate playing field. It's incomparable.
Exactly.
Stop that.
You can tell we're a duo.
Yeah, we can. Jinx Padlock. Throw away the key.
Oh, I'm glad you saved us. You know what though? Glad we get a little bit of camera time with DRX here as well. Again, you know, they kind of had a rough early rotation where Fireflux were able to take down one player from that team, but they kept it developing. And again, I think there's so much talent for this squad. I'm curious to see how they're going to be looking once we kind of have this day to look back on, going into day 2, where they are in the standings, what the squads look like. I feel like there is so much talent on this roster for Hyunbin as well. Someone that kind of, you know, has been there, worn the t-shirt, and it's just a short space of time.
Yeah.
Meteoric rise for him. Very, very good talent to watch.
Hyunbin's been very effective across esports in, like you said, the short time he's been here, relative to a lot of the veterans that are in PUBG Mobile. I will say the one thing that is annoying between Nongshim Red Force as well as DRX by South Korean teams is Tizzy, Sizzy, Zizzy. It's like, come on, guys. Let's get a slightly different naming convention going. Just for my sanity, at least.
Well, at least we've only got one alpha now.
That's true, yeah. Fantastic result.
For one of them.
For one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think, honestly, for Alpha 7, they claimed the name earlier, right? For Alpha Gaming, that felt more like BM, in my opinion.
What, they have the chance to do the funniest thing.
Oh, it's Alpha Gaming. They've won the second. Wait a minute.
The back-to-back. No, hang on. It's a different team.
A different one. Yeah. That would confuse the social media managers.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that now.
That'd throw you off guard.
Yeah.
Roll the alpha set.
Just joking.
Pull the fast one on you.
Let's not twist the knife too much.
Then we'll be epic, okay?
They've just come off a pretty sad big defeat. But yeah, we are here live from Riyadh. We have a thumping, roaring crowd, which is great to see from all instances over the world, which is really, really sweet as well. Everyone coming out to support their team of choice. It's been a slow game so far, with just a lot of rotating happening. I think we've lost 0 players. All teams still up and kicking as we head over towards Farmway. Most teams just looking for a more central position on the map. We are moving more and more away from edge gameplay. A lot of teams putting a lot more stock here towards the center, which will change as time goes on, as more and more spots open up around the edge of the map. You'll see teams getting a lot of success off the back of that, and it's crazy they're coming into playoffs, and that is sort of the change we're going to see probably day 2, day 3 if this thing continues, and it really depends which team's going to be able to take advantage of that, because a lot of times, in my opinion, it's teams that have very good sweeping capability. One team in particular that does that very well, Alter Ego.
Oh yeah, and we've seen that as well in their gameplay already. I think it's, again, you know, it just sort of hammers home that point of the fact that this team couldn't do it all. They can pass the baton amongst one another. It was very nicely played, put on with the setup, even when Rosewood goes down, the way they're building back into the game, walking away with chicken dinner. And there's a reason, you know, you throw it out there saying, obviously, I think they could take a back-to-back chicken dinner here today. But with the talent they've shown, I think they genuinely could. We'll keep our eye on it, see how it goes over the flow of this one. Nice as well when you brought it up, obviously. Everyone in the crowd, we saw the highlight there, and Al Haji's father. That segment of the crowd representing power, if they keep playing like they did, try and build into that, well, there they are in the Elim feed, taking fights to Thunder Talks. You know they're going to be getting loud.
The sighting actually does go down straight away to Ragnar, which is a good opener. He does take a fair lick of damage, but should be able to get back into the cover here. Just compound-based gameplay between both teams as the circle did push out towards the western side. And I think it's the first time this tournament we've really seen this area of the map in full over towards Potato Hill and the southern reaches of it. There's a lot of water. It's not as much as you might think, but you've got to consider that edge down towards Sosnovka that's still in is also a playable space. You'd be a bit mad to try and confirm down there at this point in the game. So we are cutting around about 30%, I'd say, out of this map. So it's becoming a little bit more cramped, a little bit more crowded.
Scary as well, watching this rotate in from Team Secret. Another squad that I think, could be described as preferring to have those passive setups rather than being the one to instigate firefights. You run into the crosshairs of Alter Ego, they are going to take that fight to you. They won't let you get away cleanly. You had a spot in the backline there with Rosemary very quickly jumping out of the driving seat to attempt to set up in cover. Didn't take the fight in the end, hasn't fired out a few bullets to see if he can get a connection over, but they can still chase on this.
In Puerto Rico, they're sort of giving ground here to Team Secret as they get ahead, but it is Krypton who's been able to swipe around, get in front of them. Ida as well as Fireflux are in front. It's an awkward rotate, I'd say, because Horror does control a lot of the space over towards the northern side, and Alter Ego likely not wanting to pick up that position. Neither are Team Secret. There is potential, though, to just completely back off this angle. Make a very wide wrap over towards the school side and play there. It is out of bounds in terms of where a lot of the high prior locations are, but it gives you a safe approach into the circle. Alva right now, the Hound on the team of Alter Ego, looking to take a sniff over towards Shelter.
You can get a good read on this as well with the placement of the squads round towards that side. You've also got another scout from Emre who's actually bypassed one another. Inside of the blue is Alva. Jumps out of the vehicle for a second, quick bit of looting. Rosemary in close position there as well. You see it established here on the map screen as we get that next zone coming in.
Direx, E-Arena, both in good spots. I like where Mormon's playing. This is a really nice split coming through from E-Arena. They had the compound that sat on the east side of those fields, which means you can comfortably hold out Falcons, but they make this immediate rotate over towards Mormon. Held that spot, but Regnum Kaya will be coming through quickly as well. They understand this spot is extremely important to them. 2 down already. Sakura is out and Regnum Kaya is cleaning house.
Oh yeah, mop and bucket gameplay. Looking to close down on E-Arena and leave them nothing to fight back with. It's a nice start. Silas on the hunt. Player up on the roof, trying to keep his head down. Clean this out, make sure there's no opportunities for a bit of a stab back. Walk away with all 4 players still alive once they get the man picked back up there. Ooh, that's not what you want. Butcher maneuvers, but this could be a little bit cheeky. Fireflux going in, hovercraft gameplay from the side though. Macap instantly falls. He able to hit that one on the crash in.
Fireflux, not being able to win this fight is going to be pretty rough for them because this was their game plan for a long, long time, is to hit up towards this compound. And they've been sent back off this. Good hold coming through from Weibo. Only losing 1 player in order, but it's not even a flush there, it's just the knock. That's easily resable. So Fireflux is going to have to go play down by the coastal side, which is an uncomfortable position to be in, because not only is it not in this compound, which is much safer, but it also denies you a lot of information into the future there. Alter Ego have been taking their time. Alva was able to spot out 1 player. They will find the pickoff onto him. Sky goes down, and now more space can be gained from Alter Ego playing on that edge and sweeping.
Alpha charges further forward. Line of sight blocked from the smoke wall that's been deployed from the remaining members of Aura. Alpha's going to be looking for this one on target with the nade. Meanwhile, Rosemary confirming, being able to get that final shot off back towards Sleepy. An exchange of shrapnel. No fear, at least with a little bit of cover to play with. Slightly harder to get those nades in with the smoke shrouding it as well, but he bails now with his teammate falling further back to provide cover.
Yeah, you got to keep backing this one off now. It's a nice bit of high ground that you can use to scout into the future of the game. I'm curious to see how Alter Ego want to play this one now, because it is a bit of a wall in front of them. Ida's playing a nice angle and a nice setup here where they are darted across the road, allowing them to get a lot of information going in towards the future, take a couple of pot shots here and there. So yeah, definitely curious how Alter Ego want to play this out. I mean, they have just been taking names slowly but surely. Team Secret weren't able to step to them. They made an instant decision to rotate back off, and just trusting in Alpha's calls as well, which is very nice to see. I do want to quickly go back to Regnum Kaya though, because despite that being an immediate rotate, Moment having control over towards the building, that was a very nice take coming through from Regnum Kaya, and that might have just bumped their point scoring up by a fair bit. There is a slight issue with that compound where some of the angles are cut off to you. You don't have all the information in the world, but this is the sort of position that's going to keep you safe for a long, long time.
I think for a few of the games we've seen from Reg Macario as well early on in the day, it feels like sometimes they pull those punches and won't fully commit to play. So it's nice to see, you've committed to an idea that they've been able to make it work.
Yeah.
Just need to keep that consistency, playing confidence good though.
Even that survival stage, when Regnum Kaya went for some strong central positions, they are very, very proactive. Even those spots where it felt like they didn't really have position to play, these are drive-by nades as well. A huge amount of damage going through up towards Alpha Gaming. I'm surprised not even a single knock there. I think if they even found one more nade towards that position, it would have been an easy cleanup for them and an easier decision to roll out, cutting out a big threat on the north side.
Yeah, they are very lucky they've been able to survive through that. On target nade, like you said, it's impressive. Not a single one of them went down. You could have clashed into it, very easily cleaned up with such a sliver of HP between the four of them. They can reset with the supplies they have. We saw a little bit of power showing up in the Elim feed once again as well. So still looking to find opportunities to build, but the nade back over. Easy knockdown because of it. This is Thundertalks. It's the last man in Zing.
Still sweeping over the top side, gets a little bit of information, but Vahida wants to take more shots and will finish it off there. Power eliminating Thundertalks. It's pointing to me as well though, where for Shinga is just a case of, it's close. For Easy, probably didn't even know he's in the shack, but just assumed that Easy's in one of these shacks in this game. I have to nade every single shack available because this guy's a backstabber and a half.
Oh, hang on a minute. You might have just said the word. It's operative here, Black. The roll in from Autorigo from the top side, finding that shot down range onto Alpha Gaming. They've been in that same position. It's a full confirmation from Rosemary. Quick pick-me-up play as well from Krypton.
Oh, there it is again! I mean, I'd like to see more DVS, but to be fair, he's one of the most skillful players is Sook with that explosive arrow, and it's something new, it's something different. And he finds success out of it. Like we said, it doesn't always pop up too often in the Elim feed, but the amount of space that Weibo gains off of Sook, wielding the bow and letting loose some absolute ringers.
Weaponizing the crowd there as well. You could see the excitement. We mentioned it, man. Would we be seeing it in playoffs? Yeah, he doesn't give a damn. Grand stage, important matchups. He'll still be playing to his best, playing his flavor of PUBG Mobile. That's actually the final knock onto the arena as well, of course, removing them. And like you said, this now presents more opportunities for other teams to move further up. It's not the craziest point disparity in the mid portion there, but you're going to take that if they're not here.
So some very obvious priority compounds here inside this circle, which you can easily spot. If you're watching the map feed, which is available over at PUBG Mobile Esports on YouTube, you'll see that Nocturne Red Force currently have one over towards the east, Red Fire playing on the west, and DRX down towards that mass of compounds on that south side. None is direct central, but they all have very, very good use cases into the future. In the meantime, here's Four Thrives going up against the Falcons right on the edge, and they are backed up against the wall. Ralph is trying to get Narvalo back up on his feet, but the nades continue to rain through. This is an important knock that they need. A Redox misses.
The timing on it. I mean, he's able to re-engage at least with a quick switch. Pulls out the secondary on the Bizone and unloads from the damage from the side. Nade over the top, and it's a clean connection. D24 hitting Narvalo even once more. He's going to try and beast up on this, but the Lanimal put back in his place, and Redox stays alive. Off the knock onto IQ, can push further forward, but it is a rough start for Falcons.
Yeah, slashing swipe coming through here. In the meantime, Autorigo have had one player knocked, but they are currently taking Yangon to task over towards Potato Hill as the circle move far towards that north side and becomes even more of a prime position. Noki sending nades out. Redox certainly proved himself there, getting the single nade across. Koa will send one of his own. It needs to be on target, but it's not meant to be as Four Thrives are able to find the Elims, find the knocks, and Falcons will be brought low from the western edge.
And they've been wanting to play that slower style into these games. Here, though, Four Thrives take the fight straight to you. Yes, they lose one player, but they can reset from it. Bit of Weibo action going on again here as well, with Fireflux having a real struggle start going into playoffs already again removed from the equation. Autorigo continue unloading the mortar strike, nade after nade on top.
It's been an extremely extended fight. I think we've seen knocks coming through across the board, but Ida starts to get involved now over towards Alter Ego. I think they just lost one. Krypton is down. Now Alva needs to pull out something special. Yangon Galacticos down to just the 2 players. 2 players knocked for them.
Alva, belly crawling, using the grass and the ridge side to provide him some additional cover. Quick jump spot, seeing if he can get visual contact over the edge of the smoke. Vahidan as well takes a stray bullet from the side. Nongshim Red Force building into this one.
They just need to pick Krypton back up again. Technically, he is in cover. So Alva will head back down there, but a full 3v3 and plenty of nades to work with. Saycloud might just be on target there with that one. Descends over the top, and it won't be a lot of damage needed to take Krypton out, and it will be a knockover towards Alva. And despite a massive spree coming through in this game from Alter Ego over towards Yangon Galacticos, it is the Galactic comeback coming through on the north side of the map. Very surprisingly, Yangon comes out of this one with the 3 players.
That's the go pistol to push up for them as well. And similarly for Moana, it's time to bail. That fight has gone no way near how they wanted it to go down. Trapped as well as he gets the overall lay of the land with the squads that are close by. He's just got to get his head down, tuck into position. It's Ida from the sideline that takes shots towards him, opens up an opportunity for Nongshim. Alpha with the nades, rolls it on target, and it is a strike from Reefus.
That is a unreal nade through the trees, through the leaves. And like a dead leaf falling, that will be the final player from Alter Ego out. Incredible stuff there. You don't see those ones every day.
No back-to-back chicken dinners to start us off. Another team will walk away with a big W on this one as the battle continues. Nice distance firefights here onto 4 Thrives as well. Good aim.
Location on the map, man. Ida currently looking very good from this spot, but we moved away from a lot of the more prominent compounds on the map. Regnum Kaya looking just to finish off those players down on that south side. And Power still running through with 3 players as well, so they're not down and out yet. Nongshim Red Force should be able to hold out strong on the south side though, having very, very good buildings to work with going forward. Nades over the top, they do a little bit of damage coming through from Regnum Kaya over towards DRX, who are now opting to see if they can just swipe right on this one.
Spin out on the burst higher as well because Ida are just firing shots down Rage. You've instantly got to try and reset from this one, but there's further damage done. Knock behind the tree. Quick bandage from Kunbin looking to reset himself. Easy. Sees that opportunity though. Clean connection. Back onto DRX.
But DRX trying to get through here. Nongshim Red Force wasn't going to let it happen. Al-Haji finding Yumbin as well on the back lines there. Very, very long-range spray to make it work. Make it work, he does. There is still one building available for Regnum Guy to be playing out on the very edge of the circle. I'd be excited to see a Yangon podium finish here just because of how hard they had to fight for their lives on the north side.
It's a hefty investment from Power. They really clamored to try and steal away some points from that one. Damage is good onto DRX, but they both go down because of it, resulting in a bit of a stalemate from the crash in, only leaving one representative of Power left. It was Weibo that were able to cause issues behind that smoke wall, and then of course Regnum Kari of the compound high ground position as well, but nice split. Silas set up further ahead. Yeah, this is going to get more and more intense. Secret, catching vision.
This is the nice thing about Regnum Kari as well, is that we mentioned it beforehand, where they're a proactive team. They don't allow themselves to be caught up in the moment and just sit around, feet up, watching telly inside these compounds. They are very much active on the outside there. They took shots over towards Alpha Gaming. They cut out over towards that south side. It's not a crazy amount of points able to find this game in terms of Elim Justice 3, but they've confirmed a strong spot on that southwest side. Weibo are in front of them, as you've mentioned. I'd like to see how they're going to handle this into the future, because it's some weird terrain that they'll have to push through.
For Yangon, it could be uncomfortable as Secret can actually get the angle to arc those nades over, roll it down the hillside. Spacing could be problematic. It's what you were talking about, of course. Obviously for Weibo, just a few steps ahead, just tucked in. A little bit of cover to work with. At least you've got the detonated vehicles, and it's actually Fahida that was the last man left for Powder. So he's just over by the tree line there.
It's very, this is what I'm saying. Oh, wow, what a shot coming through for Heathen. a fair chance as well, and he took it immediately. This is what I mean for Regnum Kai. It's very hard because you want to take shots down towards Weibo Gaming, but as soon as you leave this compound, you're in sight lines of Ida going forwards. That next circle doesn't cut Ida out either, so now Regnum Kai has to go for something very quick. They know the exact location of Alpha Gaming though. At this point, it sort of does feel like you're gonna need a crash here for Regnum Kai. Over towards that north side, I don't think it's going to be effective at all trying to wrap out over towards the east. Key down though, maybe there's a chance up towards these two players, play behind the car cover, but then what chances do you have later into the game? That's the real issue. So it looks like they are going to roll out over towards this north side, as I was mentioning.
And as we've seen, Ida have been able to do so much from this position. This might actually give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
Non-Shing engaging. Yeah, this is go time for both squads. You've got to build off the back of this. Crash in, up towards the compound. Nade close. Zizzy takes the brunt of the damage. Aaron priming another one as well. It's Doc C. He saw him. What's going on? Goes back in for a second. Look, finally shuts down Rita.
That was crazy. Silas moving up top there. We'll find Silas. We'll finish him off there as well. I mean, Regnum Kaya just spent all the way up towards Yangon Galacticos, and they were doing damage, but they're out now. What?
You knew about Alpha for so long. The minute an opportunity was presented from the commotion thrown between this fight on your screens, they go for it, but Alpha just absolutely upset. Goodbye Regnum Karia. It's now not a bad position for them to build from.
Not at all. I think Alpha Gaming played a bit of a blinder on that one, but blinding powder up to Regnum Kaya, it would seem. Doc C moves up over towards Ida, finding Darkin, more DPS shot through the window, not quite connecting just yet. There's a Molotov sent through. Murnat will finish off top on an explosion on the vehicle. They are just trying to hold on as much as possible here, and once again, it is Yangon Galacticos to make it through. This team is bulletproof.
You got Team Secret as well, playing that classic slow build, playing from distance, looking to third party onto this one. This elongated bout between Non-Shin and Ida. Aaron dodged the explosives, but he can't dodge the slugs. That's the peek up from Doc C. The DBS finally able to finish him off, but at what cost? One player left, just him.
Gives me Yangon Galacticos as well, as Team Secret have some very favourable positions going in towards the future. They can effectively sort of ignore one another and rather take shots down towards that south side. Teams that will be making their way up this hillside. I think it's going to be tough. Here's Suk with the bow in hand, just sending shots in, making life extremely difficult for Doc C. He is on the low ground though, and Suk may be just sending in ammo for no reason.
I mean, with 20 arrows left, he could zone you for quite some time. Just make it impossible to go for a peek out.
He's got to leave at some point as well, it's the thing.
Oh, they're getting close.
This consistent bombardment. Oxy struggling. Now moving forward, Suk will see a nade come his way. A little bit upset about the nades coming down though. Might pivot off. Spots Doc C isn't quite as effective with the assault rifle as he is with the bow. The team will support that. Don't make it happen. Weibo attempting to move up, but it's those two angles. Like I said, it's an efficient, I want to call it teamwork between both teams, but it's an agreement, right? You both have an extremely strong position. Let's get rid of the teams that could cause problems for us later on before we engage in one-on-one combat.
Yeah, you know to prioritize first. Go poke the Hornet's nest until it's time to engage. Frankie with the move up. Wow. Damage back over. Slapping him there. Forcing him into a bit of a rough spot. 3 squads going head-to-head, of course. And Alpha Gaming only have the one man left alive. That's Reefus that's further down.
This has been the second game in a row that Alpha Gaming have been able to get themselves a podium finish with a solo player towards these end circles. He's going to make a break for it. Murnat definitely saw him, was wondering why he went for that play. I don't think he had much choice in that situation. Murnat had actually pushed off that position as well. It's just unlucky he comes out at that timing. Trang will go down.
Shots back and forth, trades on either side. intensity building. Cloud looking for the angle. Murnat from further back, able to assist. They can focus fire on Frankie. He's removed, cauterize it, and reset. 2 players alive, focusing on the pickup as well. Grab Romeo.
I mean, just make it as hard as possible. A 3v1. There's absolutely no way that Jaiki should be able to get himself out of this one. With Yangon Galacticos starting to move up, and the map is enveloped by space as they suffocate out the rest of the teams from the high ground, pick themselves up a big chicken dinner. Not only against some of the hardest spots in the lobby, like Alter Ego, but Regnum Kaya, who sent their way up there earlier, who did get backstabbed by Alpha Gaming, but what can you say about that? When they knew where they were, there were some weird plays this game, but it was terrifying terrain to play around with.
You see the celebration and elation from the team as well. Some nice solid slaps of the hands. Everyone congratulating one another. The arena starting to get excited as well with the way these games have been going. And yet they should be celebrating. They played some great games. Heads up maneuvers again as well. Some crazy stuff. It's a good point. It's what you bring up, man. Alpha Gaming being able to drag that one out. Even that fight up to Regnum Karia. Crazy scenes here, Blank, but the action keeps on going. Join us for more in a couple minutes' time.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
the speed of light. All the other teams better surrender now or prepare to fight. We have got ourselves Seven and Maxman here to talk about this victory from them coming in from Potato Hill. Looking really cool, looking strong, taking out the previous winners from the previous games. Maxman, Yangon.
I think they're happy they had a very northern plane that was not good for them, because that allowed them to drop it to the Greats and George Bowl and actually get the northern rotate into the circle. And actually, there were very little teams going up in that northern position. We did have Ultra Ego eventually try and clash on Potato Hill itself, but the nades from St. Cloud in particular were key to claim all of Potato Hill for themselves and take the win at the end.
One of the slowest teams to rotate as well. They took their sweet time. I think at one point it was Circle 3. All the teams were just focusing on that center area, and Young Galacticos were the ones towards the north. I really enjoyed how they were able to surprise Alter Ego. Alter Ego was not expecting the team to be able to come up from behind them. And then, I mean, for Young Galacticos, I think they were waiting in Potato Hill. You were saying during that break too, while we were watching the game. They just waited for so long.
That's the scary thing about Potato Hill, right? Like, you can have multiple teams exist up there, and them also have very decent defensive positions as well. So, for Yangon, they took that fight perfectly against Alter Ego, who was going to be a huge threat, and then Team Secret moves in later on here, Max.
I mean, actually looking at Team Secret, they also had a really good match this time around. 11 points on the board. Again, a normally pretty silent team, but they were going quite aggressive here versus Yangon Galacticos, trying to push uphill, Potato Hill, claim all of the northeastern edge, and also keeping teams down low, such as Weibo, away from the fight. So actually, Team Secret, they showed me a little bit more than what we saw back in the group stage, which sets up a very good precedent here for the finals.
Yeah, for Team Secret, I would have actually loved them to commit to that fight against Young Galacticos, even though they were being able to control in Potato Hill. I don't know if you agree or disagree with me on this one, but ultimately, they were going to have to take that fight at one point or another.
I'm scared that if they take the fight onto Yangon Galacticos a little bit earlier, teams such as maybe Weibo can just full send it and third party that fight and just wrap up the chicken dinner. I do get why they were delaying it, but the more you delay it, the bigger advantage you're given to Yangon, and then you just cannot win that fight anymore.
That says, whilst we took a look at the points, Alpha Gaming once again being able to get into some of the later stages of this match here, Seven.
It came down to what they were able to do with the 4 vehicles. They had 4 vehicles being able to just create a big barrier. And on top of that, for this team, they kept getting blessed by the circle. They really didn't have to do much. They were able to just hold off a lot of people. And that's the scariest thing with this team. We know they have the fragging power. We know if they set themselves in a position where they actually have the full squad, they're going to be super scary. And they were able to showcase it perfectly in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to survive a little bit more like that every